beautiful artists. Welcome back to another episode of Paint Along with Skye. Today we're doing a little trio of happy cacti. I don't know why they're happy. They just seem happy to me. Make me happy to look at. Really pretty colors today. We're going to use our 3 standard brushes. I got mine in my water cup already off the screen. So large brush, medium-sized brush, and small brush. The colors that I'm going to be starting with are just for the background. And it's just black, white, and a phthalo green. And we're going to use other colors in the second part of class today. So again, make sure your brushes are in your water cup. Got some paper towels off the side of the screen. Okay, I think we're ready to jump into it. Oh, if you want to see what materials I recommend, check the description box below and you'll see a full list of all the different colors that you'll need to paint along every week with me. Today is an acrylic class, so we're doing acrylics today. I actually have just a canvas board that I'm painting on today rather than the traditional boxed canvas. Either of those type of thing will work. You could even paint on wood. Lots of different painting surfaces there to choose from. Okay, we're going to start out with our large brush. And we're going to, like we do with a lot of different paintings, create a horizon line. And we'll have 2 different sections here that we're going to be filling in. So they're going to be slightly different brush strokes. The first color we're going to mix up is going to be this beautiful teal green, which is one of my favorite colors to work with. This painting is my logo colors. So these are my favorite colors. Okay, and with that green, really lightly, I'm just going to kind of trace my way across the canvas, and then I'm going to come in here and get all that good canvas texture filled in. I'm going to go back and forth, or up and down rather. Up and down across my canvas. And as we work our way across, we're going to have some areas that are a little bit lighter and some areas that get dark again. So real faint, this is sort of like maybe a paint effect on the wall behind, sort of vintagey look. And just so it's just not one solid green color. So you can just grab some white and just put that right in to your green. We want to come down and cover that line that we created where we were differentiating our horizon here. But don't worry if you go into it a little bit. That's okay. A little bit of water helps the paint go nice and smooth. Letting it soak in to those textured canvas ripples, or whatever you want to call it, into the canvas texture. Getting some nice variance there in my color. Really easy first step. Starting simple. Okay. I actually like using these canvas boards. They're pretty nice to work with. It's been a little bit of a challenge to find art materials with the recent shutdowns. If you are painting along with me, I would love to see your masterpiece. I created an art share Facebook group called the Art Club for this purpose. If you would like a little bit more one-on-one, or you have questions, and you would like to support me and the channel, I also have a Patreon where I do live Q&As, or what I call Q&Arts. We do special projects there, special bonus projects. And the first 50 to sign up for my Patreon are going to get a copy of my acrylic bootcamp course, which is going to be out this summer. That's going to be a really good intro to color blending, layering, color theory, all kinds of good intro to acrylic info. Okay, that looks pretty good. Go ahead and rinse your brush, and now we're going to do our little countertop. Okay, got most of the green out, and now I'm going to use a fair amount of white and just mix up a nice medium gray. Okay, a little bit of water with that acrylic paint makes it nice and smooth. And now we are going to try to do as straight of a line as we can, but it's okay if it's not totally straight. No one's going to be examining your painting with a ruler. A lot of times my horizon lines are a little bit wonky, and that is okay. Coming up into my teal color. Nice straight line. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to just fill in our little table area. These brush strokes are going to be back and forth. Slightly different texture and feel. Same idea with the upper part though, in that we want a little bit of streakiness in here. So I'm trying to get this big area filled in first with that dark gray. But then I'm going to add a little bit of streakiness with white in the same kind of way. And you can have any color you want for these two colors, really. I chose the teal and gray because those are my signature colors, not just for my paintings, but also for my apartment. So what would look good in your house? I feel like I almost did this with a pink background, and then I also thought about doing this with a beige background, or you could do pink background with beige countertop. Whatever you like, totally customizable. Same thing with the little pots too, once we get there. Okay, so I can see that I'm a little bit wonky, just like I said. I'm gonna try to straighten this line as much as possible. I'm getting like further up as I go. Okay. We're gonna say that's not just good, it's good enough. And then I'm grabbing a little bit of white and adding that streakiness, like I mentioned, mostly in the foreground. Because if it gets a little bit darker as you go back, that'll give it a little bit of depth. Okay. It's okay if you got a little bit of green in there, because maybe this is a shiny countertop and a little bit of the green wall is reflecting on the countertop. Okay, let's go ahead and let this dry, and we're going to come back and create our cute little cacti. Okay, give it about 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, welcome back. We have a dry canvas and fresh colors. I'm going to do a little rundown for you of the colors that we're going to need for this part. So I have black and white. I do have 2 little areas of white, just because I know I'm going to use a lot. I have 2 different colors of green. So I have a grass green and then more of that phthalo teal green. I have a nice bright yellow. This is going to be ultramarine blue rather than cobalt blue, so a little bit of a purple tone in there. A nice bright red, and then an additional white I have there as well. Go ahead and rinse your brushes and get clean water as well. And we're going to now use our small brush. Little detail brush and just a little bit of white. Right on the side, I want to try to keep a lot of my white kind of by itself so that I can use it later. And this is just a little bit of water that I have in there on that baby brush. And we're going to do 3 little pots. So the first one, I'm going to start in the center. And this is why we let this dry, so that we can actually put our hand on the surface. And you're going to draw a long oval, like so. It's going to be the top part. And then there's going to be a little lip of the pot. And then this curved brush stroke, we're going to try to match and go parallel with the top part there. And we're going to go in just a tiny bit, and we're going to go up and down, straight as we can, down into the middle to the bottom of our gray, and then just a little curved brush stroke down here too. So this curve and this curve and this curve are all parallel. This is that oval that we started everything with. Very cute. Now 2 more just like it. Okay. It's okay if these are a little bit different. Kind of adds to the cuteness, I think. A little bit quirky, like me. So maybe this one's a little bit skinnier. It's fine. And you can have just 1 cactus or 2, however many you like. Build your own little succulent garden. How cute. Just very lightly, just a sketch. Okay. Looks great. I'm gonna go ahead and put my baby brush back in the water and grab my medium-sized brush. Okay, this is my favorite one. Nice medium size. Okay, now choose what colors that you would like your little pots, your little clay pots. I'm going to do just like I had in my original. So yellow, I know that yellow is a little bit transparent. So a little bit of white, just a pinch of white, helps that become more opaque. And you're just gonna choose a base color, that main color. And you're going to fill in your sketch lines all the way out to cover that white, creating a nice clean line. And then just filling it in solid. It's okay to have a little bit of texture in there. Straightening this up a little bit because I went a little bit too far out. That's fine though. And then a little bit of a lighter version I'm going to use for the lip. That's mostly just so that I don't lose where everything is. Cover all those sketch lines too much. Letting it soak into the canvas texture. And then maybe just a slightly darker, more vibrant yellow. You're gonna put that in that back oval. So that's really, it's really subtle. It's not very bold color difference here. Almost all the same color yellow, just a little bit darker. Okay. Now I'm going to try to grab some solid yellow. It's the darkest that I have. And just make it a little bit brighter. Kind of building up color here. Okay. You can go ahead and take a little bit of a lighter yellow now, even lighter. And just sort of in the center, a few brush strokes of that lighter yellow. We're going to start to get that round shape of the pot. There, perfect. That's fine for just filling in the colors. Now we're going to repeat those same steps with pink and blue. Rinse your brush. Same brush. I'm going to do the red or pink one. Already getting a lot of different colors in my white. Might need some clean white later. Okay, so just a nice hot pink. Filling in the sketch lines. Very pretty color. I want a little bit darker than my original. Hear my dog in the background as usual. I locked him in the other room for the first part, and he acted like it was the most cruel thing anyone could ever do. So I can't do that again. He wants to be near me. Okay, so a little bit of a lighter pink for the outside edge of the lip of the pot. Coming out a little bit further. And then a little bit of a darker red on the inside. Here we go. Okay. And then again, that same way, you can take a little bit of a lighter pink right in the center there. Just really subtle. Perfect. Okay, same thing with the blue one. Just getting the base colors on for now. Don't worry about it looking how you want. It's gonna look a little crazy right now. That is okay. You're halfway through. Okay, so we're using primary colors here for our 3 pots. This one is just going to be a light blue. Another one of my favorite colors to work with. Same steps. Filling it in. Okay, and then a little bit of a lighter blue again. On the lip. And darker blue in the center. Perfect. Okay, looks great. Let's go ahead and just rinse our brush Actually, let's go ahead and grab our little tiny brush. We're going to do our cactuses now, cacti, and we're going to just create the shape first. So either brush that you're comfortable with, but I think I'm going to use my smaller one. Okay, now let's mix up a little bit of a cactus green. I'm going to mix those two greens that I have together. And you can either do a little bit darker or just like a little bit more of a yellow toned green. But if you end up using just the phthalo green and white, you're going to get the same color as the background. So be mindful of that it's a different enough green to stand out from your background. So again, you can accomplish that by adding a little bit of yellow or a little bit less white. Okay, beautiful kind of forest green to start off my cactuses with. So you can really start with whatever one you want, but since I started in the center, I'm going to just go ahead and work in the center for now. So in the center, I'm going to have that really cute little round fat guy that I love. He's my favorite. So just rounded top there. And I always start small, that way I can kind of make it bigger as I fill it in. So just a circle, half circle here. Well, like 2/3 of a circle popping out. And then we're going to fill that shape in just a second, but for now, I'm just going to go ahead and trace out the other shapes as well. So this guy is going to be a long, curved brush stroke like so. And we're going to do a little side guy here. This is kind of the classic cactus shape. And then a small one like so. Very cute, almost like a pickle. Similar to other cactus shapes that I've painted. Thinking about the desert sunset painting. Let me know if you've seen that one, if you tried that. Okay. And then over here, you're gonna have kind of like a bulb. Different than your circular one. Kind of like a little fanned out guy. And then another one coming off the side. Cute, cute, cute. Okay, I'm going to fill in with my medium brush. Save time. I'm going to fill in with that same green. You want to create a straight line here. We are going to paint a little bit of dirt later. And then when you're filling in the circular one, you want to kind of pull the brush strokes from the top in every direction. So brush strokes matter. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Make sure your brush strokes are going in the proper direction for the shape that you're filling in. So in this case, that's following that circular shape. Great. Same thing over here. Filling it in. Same direction that the shape is in. Looks like I need a little bit more green. Okay. Nice clean line where your brush stroke comes out and meets the background. So nice clean. You don't want that little brush stroke texture, making every little line nice and clean. Okay, that looks great. Just filling in every shape with that base color. Ooh. So when that kind of thing happens and you pull some color where you don't want it, don't panic. You can usually just cover it, rinse your brush a couple times, and just kind of go back at it. Acrylic, you can always go over stuff. Crisis averted. In this case, the red kind of blends with the green and creates a sort of brown tone, which is not too bad anyway. So I don't really need to cover it that much. Okay. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and rinse our brush again, but we're still going to use this medium-sized brush. And now we have our base color filled in, so we're going to add a little bit of highlights and shadows. So let's grab a little bit of black, and first we're going to mix up a dark green. So that was a little bit too dark. Sometimes a really good green is just yellow and black mixed together. Pro tip. Okay. Got like a dark army green. I don't want to go too dark. And the first place I'm going to go with this shadow is the right side of my left hand cactus. And just a few brush strokes to make that have some depth on that one side there. And then same idea over here. So we're just doing the right side, just a few brush strokes. And if you go too far, you can add a little bit of green right back on top. Okay, looks good. A little subtle. Now the center one is a little bit more specific. So let's go ahead and grab our dark green. And the same kind of brush strokes that we did when we were filling in, we want to do a few dark green stripes. You want to go over these a couple times and make them pretty fat, like so. Almost like a pumpkin. Stripey, stripey, little green pumpkin. Okay. Rinsing my brush again. I'm still working on this middle one. I'm going to create a sort of yellowish green. And then here on the right hand side of the remaining green, I'm going to do a little highlight color. So it's actually creating a ridge. We're going to put our little cactus spikes like right down the center line here. So that's going to be the ridge. There we go. Cute. Okay. And then we're going to actually use our baby brush. Let's use a smaller one for our cacti on the right. And I'm going to kind of outline the shape in that dark green. Picking up a little bit of red again, got to be careful of that. And then a few stripes. We're going to start to do some stripes up and down. These ones are going to be a little bit more subtle than the ones we'll do later. There we go. Just starting to break up that green. Okay, now we're actually going to jump around a little bit and we're going to finish up the pots. So now that we have our base green on our cactuses and our cacti, I'm going to get that right here, I swear. We're going to go ahead and let that dry for a second and finish up the bottom half. Okay, so let's start with actually a dark gray. And we're going to work from the bottom up here. We're going to do a gray shadow at the base of each one of our little pots. So the shadow is just going to be an oval that comes down, and it's going to come out a little bit further on the left hand side. It's a little bit of a wonky oval. And then go ahead and fill that in with your dark gray. Bringing it right up to the bottom of your little pots. Important step, gives a lot of depth to this painting. Again, if you're painting along, I want to see your paintings. So make sure and check out the description box. Follow the link to the art club. A lot of fun stuff in there. Let me know what you think of today's painting. Is it hard? How are you guys doing? I want to hear from you. This painting is a little bit lengthy because we're kind of painting like 3 of the same thing. But we are not in a hurry, are we? We got nowhere to be and all day to get there. That's a song from the band The Bills, Canadian folk band. Okay, looks good. Rinsing my brush. Okay, I like this part. Going to start adding some black. When I realized I need brown as well, so. A little bit of brown for our dirt, just a tiny pinch. Okay, but we can definitely start with the black and go ahead and outline the shape of your pots. Pretty much the same lines that you did before when you were first sketching them out. This is an optional step as well. You could do this with like a dark red if you don't like doing it with the black. But this, I think, adds a lot. It makes it look kind of cartoony, and I realize that, but I like the way that looks. Okay. Alrighty. We're going to do some white on there too, but I'm going to let that dry for a second. I'm going to work my way over and outline my yellow one. There we go. Don't worry about these lines being super straight because of the sort of cartoony style. There's some wiggle room for interpretation. Okay. All right. Bear with me, everyone. All painting is a test of patience. It's just gonna take however long it's gonna take. Okay, adorable. So cute. Okay, I'm gonna rinse my brush and add some dirt. Your green might be a little bit wet still, mine is, but I'm going to add this first layer. I can always go back and add a second layer if need be. Okay, just a little bit of dirt at the very bottom of your cactus, sitting right on top of that black line, like so. Make sure you go far enough side to side. Just that little line of brown makes a big difference in the overall look of the painting. Okay. Looks good. Rinsing my brush again. Okay, we're almost to the part of where we're going to start adding some white and black on our cactuses, but let's add a little flower before we go there. So I'm going to grab some pink. At the top part of my little circular guy, I'm just going to do brush strokes that come out from the center and kind of come up in all different directions. Cute, cute, cute. Grab a little bit of red and just kind of right in the center there, break it up a little bit. Same thing with a really light pink. Yeah, just so that it's not all one solid color pink. Okay, now let's take our black, and I'm going to start on this side here. I'm going to outline the shapes of my cactuses. And I actually am not going to do a black line right where the dirt is. I want the dirt to touch the cactus. Home stretch here, everybody. Let me know if you've made it this far. Eventually, I'd like to do these live. But right now, YouTube says I'm too small. I gotta have 1,000 followers before I can go live on my phone. I touched my shadow a little bit. Just gonna clean that up real quick. Okay, for my circular guy in the center, I'm gonna do a couple things. Right where I have my dark green, I'm gonna go even darker and do a little streak of black. I'm going to outline just the outside. Not every little shape in there. Cute little cartoon cactuses, cacti. And the flower too, I kind of just outline the outside edge. So cute. And this cactus got a little bit too fat for my liking, but all well. It is what it is. Okay. And now on this right hand guy, I'm going to do a couple streaks of black running up and down as well. Deep shadows because this guy's got ridges. Cute. Rinsing my brush, I'm going to add some white and I'm going to be done. Okay, see, my white got really dirty. And it's always the end of the class that I like to add white. So I try to keep a second little area for white on my palette usually, but I started using that one too. Okay, so With your white, you're gonna put highlights in your cacti. You're also gonna put highlights in your pots. So I'm gonna start in the pots, and I'm just, with my baby brush here, just going to go along the shape of it and kind of trail my brush stroke off. I did one on the top here and one on the bottom. As long as you kind of go with the curve, it'll give you more depth, make that pot look round. As you can see, just a few brush strokes, I think, of white makes a big difference. Kind of a little curved brush stroke right along the bottom side there. And try not to make them all look exactly the same. Slightly different than the one next door. Okay. And then in pink one. It is okay to see a little bit of texture now, since we've built up so many colors. Okay, it looks cute. All right, well, let's add some white in the top parts of our cacti. Cacti, not cactuses. Be careful with your hand. I'm really bad about this. You want to go in every little direction here. You're just doing the top parts. This is kind of like that furry, spiky stuff that grows on these guys. The spike fur, you guys know what I'm talking about. What is that stuff called? I don't know. I should familiarize myself with plant anatomy before I paint cacti. I am not a scientist, merely a painter. No excuse. Next time I'll learn that. Okay, I'm just pulling it from the top down. And then you want to have a little bit of that coming all the way down as well. Maybe even coming from the bottom up. So it's mostly at the top, but a little bit pulled through as well. This one's the trickiest. Okay, looks pretty good. All right, looks good to me. And then in our center one here is my favorite. Actually, let's give that one more second to dry though. I'm going to do the one over here first, one on the left, and I'm going to use the back of my brush for that, because that's going to create some nice texture, but you are going to have to frequently go back for more paint, because you want them to all be about the same size and fairly evenly dispersed. So sometimes we use the back of our brush to create stars, and we let some of them be smaller than the others, but with this one we want all of these little dots to be pretty much the same shape. This reminds me of my jellyfish painting. Definitely check that one out if you're doing acrylics and you like this one. Cute. Very nice. And then just the center here, back with the front of the brush. These are gonna be little like kind of flowery, spidery looking guys. It's gonna come off in each direction. You do want your paint to be dry, and mine is a little bit not all the way dry yet. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to keep pushing through. Little spiky, almost look like palm fronds or something. This is going to go right along where your kind of orange, sorry, yellowish green is meeting your other greens. I don't know if that makes sense, but where those two medium greens meet, not in the part where it's really dark, not in the shadowy part. Right on the ridge. Following where those greens meet. Okay, just one more little row. Spiky cactus ball. Super cute. Okay, that looks good to me. I think that I'm gonna call this one good for today. I hope you guys liked today's tutorial. Let me know what you thought of the painting in the comment section. I hope to see you guys over in the art club or even Pause Premium. And that is all I have for you today. So until next time, stay creative.